Live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
And hello, everyone. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now. As always, thank you for joining us. We are live streaming at KPTV.com. Of course, we are on the Fox 12 Oregon app, and you're probably seeing us on YouTube, too, or wherever you're finding us. We do appreciate it. Lots of places there to watch the show and, of course, share it afterward. Today, we're talking about something that starts tomorrow, depending on when you're watching, and I'm talking about Amazon Prime Day, which is 2 days, and involves not just Amazon, but really pretty much every major retailer out there is also going to be having deals going on. So lots of shopping, lots of economic spending is going to happen over the next couple of days, and lots of scams that are going to be out there as well. And when you're trying to find those deals really quick, it is really easy to fall victim to those. So we're going to talk about that today and how you can avoid falling into one of those traps. Right now, we've got Greg Pepper joining us again. And Greg, always good to have you here on the show. Security architect with Checkpoint Software. And so, you know, you look at this like year over year, just the amount of spending that goes into Amazon Prime Day, it just increases exponentially just across the board. But there is a lot of other things that happen with that too that also increase, I imagine, exponentially as well.
Absolutely. I mean, hackers take advantage of the increased interest, demand, as well as pent-up spending that the traditional consumers like us do around times like Prime Days.
Yeah, so a lot of people are going to be looking for those deals, and we want to just walk through how you can avoid becoming a victim to some of those things, and just giving yourself a little bit of extra protection when you're out there doing this shopping. What are the main things that people can do?
Well, first and foremost, don't respond to these random spam and SMS messages you get about great deals. If it looks and smells like a great deal, it probably is not actually a great deal. And if there is something you're truly interested in finding, go directly to Amazon.com. Go directly in the Amazon app that you downloaded from the Apple Store or the Google Store, as an example. There's a much more secure way to search for those items than to click on any random link you might receive and think it's a great deal.
Yeah, so make sure that you're not, even though some of them could look really enticing, that you're going to be getting. There's those, as you said, if they look too good to be true, probably too good to be true.
Absolutely. And people are creating these lookalike domains where Amazon is somewhere in the URL itself, but is actually a malicious domain that's trying to steal login credentials, payment information, and other sensitive data that you might be duped into providing them.
Yeah, I think that's another thing too, because sometimes you do see that in the URL, but they're out there creating these other ones that look like it maybe says Amazon something else, but that's not actually an official website.
Correct. In our research over the last month, there have been over 1,200 domains registered that included Amazon somewhere in the title. And nearly 90% of them were actually malicious domains that were actually trying to steal that sensitive information, payment data, and other information about you and us.
Wow, 1,200 of them over that amount of time. That's crazy.
Absolutely. And with tools like AI and otherwise, it's even easier for hackers now to create these websites, create these scams, find information about you on social media. Every one of those likes and posts about something that you found on the internet just gives more information for the hackers to send a more targeted and customized attack your way that you might fall victim and prey to.
So look out for those, watch out for those URLs, make sure that you're not falling victim to that, going to the right website. What's the next thing that people can do?
Well, the second thing, as always, is make sure whatever device you're using, whether it's your phone, your tablet, your laptop, there's constantly new patches and updates coming for both the core operating system, the applications, as well as the security tools that you're putting on there. And just like we wouldn't drive our car without wearing seatbelts or having airbags and anti-lock brakes, our mobile devices, our tablets, and our computers need the appropriate levels of security as well, whether you're the largest enterprise or a small customer at home.
So when you get that notification that says there's an update, run the update. Don't wait on that.
Yeah, especially the critical ones that have come in. You know, Microsoft and Apple have really been pretty good about getting the updates out to the consumers. It's up to us to take advantage and install them as quickly as possible.
All right. So again, this is all advice to help make sure that you don't even accidentally, fall victim to this, give up your information, have somebody hack into your system, or click on something bad. So those are some good ones. What else do we have here on the list of things to do?
Well, just from payment processing information, it's always safest to use a credit, not debit card in an online transaction. Heaven forbid there's some type of an issue, or heaven forbid it was even fraud. The protection on your credit card is often a lot better and less impactful than potentially having hundreds of thousands of dollars siphoned off of your debit account.
So the credit card company, or using a credit card, it's going to be easier to fight that rather than going through your debit card.
Yeah, you often have greater levels of fraud and liability protection. That's not to say that you don't have fraud and liability protection on your debit account. But when your debit account is linked to your checking account, there's a potential drawdown of actual cash from your checking account versus having an unauthorized charge on your Amex, Visa, MasterCard, etc. For many of us, it's a great different impact to our cash flow and our direct family lifestyles.
Yeah, I've had that happen before with my debit card getting taken, and all of a sudden just all these charges going through there, and it did take a while to even fight those. I did get it back, but yeah, credit card would be a lot easier, and a lot easier to do that because of those reasons that you just mentioned. So that's really good advice for everybody out there. So make sure that you know that on your payment side of things when you go into your account.
Absolutely. And even using online payments, whether they're PayPal and other things, are another secure way to help conduct a transaction that offers a variety of fraud and liability protection.
And that one extra layer, I would imagine, in between you and that person that you're giving out that info to.
Absolutely. Not to say that the hackers couldn't try and utilize a legitimate payment processor like PayPal or otherwise, but it's less likely that they're going to be using someone like Venmo, Zelle, PayPal in a more traditional online payment sense to siphon off your credit card information.
And so these are all, again, things that you can do to make sure that you're protecting yourself. What else? Any other major things you think that people should be paying attention to?
Well, I think we're all potentially targets this on a daily basis. And I mentioned before, unfortunately, the amount of information we share on social media only makes it easier for hackers to easily target and identify us. And whether we're an individual user at home, we're a small business, we're the largest of enterprise customers, we're all digitally connected all the time. And unfortunately, that makes us all digital targets all the time as well.
Yeah, so anybody out there could be. And again, it doesn't matter how savvy you think you are or if you're used to all this. It's also going to be a whole lot of things happening at once. And if you're really participating in Prime Day, you see the deal, maybe it's just so exciting, you click on it, or you give up something on accident. It's just important to pay attention to everything that you're doing.
Understood. And we also get these emails and other text messages now that create this sense of urgency. Yeah. Oh, your account's been suspended, unable to make shipment, unable to make payment processing. You know, a lot of us will have made a purchase during this week, and we're thinking about our package that we're arriving. When we see this message that warns us about a potential conflict in shipping and payment, we hastily click on these links. Always think twice about clicking on any of those links. As I mentioned, it's always best to start with your retailer of choice, whether it's Amazon or somebody else, at their homepage, and then find the deals and then dig in and investigate from there, rather than ever clicking on an unknown link that we get millions of spam messages throughout the year.
Oh, I get so many text messages just in the last couple of days of saying, oh, you have a shipment that's going to be arriving, but there's a problem. You got to go to the warehouse, or it'll be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, USPS or UPS or anybody else, DHL. But all of those are, spam links, but sometimes they write them pretty well. They do look kind of official. So if you're not paying
They sure do. And that lookalike is something that helps to dupe the user, right? You look at the URL, or they copy the icon, or they copy the logo, so it has the brand recognition. But more often than not, those are just fraudulent phishing attempts to try and harvest personally identifiable information.
So don't panic if you have a shipment coming and you get one of those text messages and think something's wrong. Go to the source first.
No. If it was a legitimate purchase, you'll have an email from your retailer with a link to the order status, potential shipping information, which can securely link you to UPS, FedEx, or whomever else the shipper may be.
Anything else you think that is important for people to know just about these next couple of days here, and just with all of the online shopping that's going to be going on?
Well, I think the things we've shared are not just relevant for during Amazon Prime days, but there's numerous situations throughout the year, whether there's tax scams for filing around April 15th, Black Friday scams as an example. Users should just always be wary about receiving information from unknown sources. And if it truly is something you're interested in, again, go to that manufacturer's website. You'll be able to find the information directly without having to click on an unknown link sent to you by an unknown individual.
Well, Greg, thank you very much, for joining us here to talk about this too, and just get this information out there. I mean, for some people, you may think that this is running. Oh, I know not to do that, but believe me, it can happen, and that's why these hackers and scam artists are so successful at this. Is it only takes one bad click?
Yes.
And yeah.
Well, they're highly successful and highly profitable, which is why they continue to do what they're doing, and is only being amplified with the advent of artificial intelligence and other technologies that make it easier for them to launch these types of sophisticated attacks with less effort than ever.
Yeah, so they can send millions of them out at the same time, and using AI, the language starts to get better. It starts to look real. Yeah, so definitely watch out for that and be paying attention. Well, Greg, thank you very much for joining us here today, too, to talk about this. I really appreciate your time and just getting the word out for everybody.
Thanks, as always, for having me, Greg, and I look forward to talking with your audience again soon.
Absolutely. All right, thanks so much. And for everybody watching, again, this is Fox 12 Now, so we cover a wide range of topics here on the show. this is your first time watching, we appreciate it. We do go live here every weekday. And coming up at 2 p.m. today, we're going to be switching gears. We're going to be talking about whiskey, actually. We're talking about, in particular, Uncle Nearest Whiskey. And so the founder of that is going to be here in Portland tonight talking about her book, describing the founding of this distillery, which is named after the first known African-American master distiller in the U.S., who is, I guess, a protege of Jack Daniels. So there's a whole huge history there. Again, she's going to be at Portland Center Stage tonight. Before that, she's going to be right here with us here in the studio. So make sure and share that or tune back in as well on whatever platform you're on at 2 p.m. Pacific today. We'll sign off right now. We'll regroup. I'll be back soon. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.